Money limiting beliefs. Work on identifying and removing beliefs that don't serve you anymore. So welcome back to another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming. Today I want to talk about this very important topic that a lot of people struggle with and they're not even aware of what is going on. So welcome back. This is Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer. And let me change camera so you can see me. 1 second. Here we go. So thank you very much. If you're watching on social media, if you can share hashtag live there, or if you're watching replay, hashtag replay, it would be great so that we know if you're around. If you have any questions, just reach out, please. So let's talk about money. One of the biggest things that I've seen studying the mind for 15 years and working with people all around the world is that a lot of people out there think that they think about money in a specific way, and they're not even aware of what they think. So what did I want to say there, right? It sounds a little bit confusing. So let me make it a little bit more confusing, and then I'm going to expand that a bit more. What I tell people is, it's not what you think you think. It's not what you think you think. It's what you don't know you think that you think. So again, more confusing. I know that, guys. So I love doing that, sharing this thing that I put together of not knowing, because let me explain this. A lot of people think that they think about love, relationships, success, failure, money in a specific way. They think that money is good, that they deserve money, that they're worth making money. A lot of people, try to convince themselves to think positive around different things: relationship, love, success, failure, all the things that I was mentioning in this today's episode, money. The problem is that they're not aware what's running in the background. What does that mean? The mind is very similar to a computer. Right now, maybe you're on Facebook, maybe you're on Zoom, right? Watching this on social media and different platforms. You're watching this. And in the background, in the computer, in the phone, there's many other processes working in the background to allow you to be able to see this live streaming. So although you are seeing now social media or Zoom, this video right now, in the background, there's many things that you don't even need to be aware of to be able to see this video, but it's happening. The same happens in the mind. The mind is divided between the conscious mind that can go between 5 or 10%, okay? And the subconscious mind that is running around 90 to 95% of your life. So it's not what you think that you think about money, it's what you don't know you think. So people might say, okay, Tommy, I heard that. I understand it now, that I might not be aware of what I'm thinking. Perfect. First step. First step is to recognize that you might not even be aware of what you think. With most of the people that I work with, spiritual people, people that are, have come from, therapy for years and different type of works, they still don't understand how the mind works. And this is one of the most important steps to be able to make any changes. A couple of hours ago, I was, in a group where I posted something, and a guy there started saying that, no, you don't need to understand the mind. You just need to understand where you want to go. So it's like, you know what? I don't believe that, because the truth is, if you're trying to fix a car, you need to understand it. If you want to fix, I don't know, an electrical problem in your house, you need to understand it. So if you want to, in a way, change the wiring in the mind, not because it's broken, to make it more efficient, to make it better, to work more for you instead of against you, you need to understand. It's that basic. And he was saying, he was putting a lot of information on there why you didn't need to understand. And you know what? I've been studying the mind for 15 years. I've been working with thousands of people around the world. And the quickest and easiest way, I'm not saying it's easy, but the easiest way is to understand. So let's move forward with this money limiting beliefs. Most people have different beliefs that they're not even aware of. So how can we start tapping into the subconscious mind? Yes, the subconscious mind, to understand if you have any beliefs around money. So first thing is to understand that the subconscious mind is made of all your past memories. A big part, not all of it, but a big part is made up of all your past memories. So your past memories, meaning when you were a little boy, little girl, back home at, your parents' house. So the first thing we need to do is we can do a quick exercise of breath work, right? Breathing a little bit, sitting back, relaxing, breathe a couple of times, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Just a couple of times to try to relax a little bit. And I want you to imagine going back as that little boy or girl to mom or dad's house. And imagine yourself that house. Imagine you watching that house, right? And there's this little boy, little girl. It could be Tommy walking around the house. So imagine little Tommy in his room, little Tommy in the living room, in the kitchen, okay? So now I'm going to start asking, how did little Tommy could have thought about money? And I know it sounds weird, but when you start really dealing with the past, imagining how did that little Tommy, where did they live? How was the relationship with money? How did he see his parents relating with money? In my case, I saw my parents struggling for many, many years around money. So I believe that Tommy could have made up, imagining adult Tommy looking at little Tommy, right? Imagine that I'm looking at little Tommy, is money is difficult to get. Another thing that suddenly came up when I started doing these exercises, I remember my parents, each time we were talking about people that made money as an entrepreneur and made good money, fast, quote unquote, right? It wasn't a big company, it was a small company. I started making money. My parents would always say, oh, they're doing something illegal. They're maybe selling drugs. Automatically, it was, you're doing something wrong if you're making good money with a business. So I started making up in my mind that if I had a business and made money, I was doing something wrong. So as I didn't want to do something wrong, many years, for more or less, I think it was 6 years. Let me see, 2000 and 1998. Let's start when I starting business, 1998. No, it was, I think more or less 8, 9, 10 years. I don't remember exactly, or 13 years. I don't remember exactly. I'm going to mix up, but for many, many years, I struggled making money with my business, with different businesses that I started to try. Why? Because in my mind, in the subconscious mind, deep, deep down, I believed that if I made money, I was going to be seen as bad by my parents. And although a lot of people say, oh, but tell me, I don't give a crap about my parents, I don't give a crap about people, I don't care what you say, but in a loving way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it as judgment, but it's like, it doesn't matter what you say. If Tommy says, oh, I don't care what people say, and then I say, hey, Tommy, are you taking actions to grow your business? Are you talking with people? Are you making offers? Oh, no, I'm working on this over here. I'm working on the marketing. I'm working on the videos. I'm working on the website. Are you talking with people to get paid for your services? If you're not doing what you need to do to get closer to making money, unfortunately, the mind is keeping you stuck. But there are limiting negative or false beliefs around money in the back of your head that you're not even aware of. Once I was working with a guy, he was a marketing coach, and he came to me and saying like, oh, Tommy, I want to be a millionaire. I know I deserve money. I'm good enough. I'm valued. I'm worthy. And I told him, hey, look, I get it that you're saying all of these things. What are your actions? Procrastination, self-sabotage. He was doing the opposite that he needed to do to be able to grow his business in this case, right? So as we started going deeper into his path, into his subconscious mind, we found that as a little kid, he had to beg his dad for money. So he started learning that he needed to beg for money. So whenever he did an offer to a potential client, he sounded that he was begging. And people didn't want to work with somebody that sounded begging because it sounded like somebody that didn't know what they were doing. Although this guy knew what he was doing. He was begging for money. He was doubting himself in a call. And deep down, he felt that if he made money, he was going to be like his dad. And his dad has screwed the family over money. I had another person that was not asking for a raise at work. Why? Because deep, deep down, he always had an excuse. Oh, but Tommy, it's not the best timing. Right now, the economy worldwide, or the economy in our country, or always finding excuses not to go out there and ask for a raise, right? Or change jobs. So he was always finding excuses. But then as we went deep down, he didn't feel valuable. He didn't feel worthy enough to ask for a raise. So it didn't matter what he thought consciously, saying, oh, but Tommy, I know that I'm good. I deserve a raise. Okay, what are your actions? His actions were not really what he was saying. So his actions reflected more his subconscious mind than his conscious mind. And this is the first thing we need to understand. Whatever we think, normally, if our actions are not aligned with that, it's not correct. Our actions speak from our subconscious mind, not what our conscious mind says. I want to do this, and then I procrastinate. I self-sabotage. I don't do it, right? I postpone it. It means that my actions are more aligned with my subconscious mind. Okay, so again, I need to start digging into the subconscious mind, I was just said. So imagine yourself at any home when you were a little kid, and it could be different moments, because maybe when you were, I don't know, 5 years old, your parents were doing okay economically. Then suddenly there was an economic crisis and your parents didn't start doing very well. So when you were 7, things got complicated. So try to go into different events as if you were seeing a movie and imagining how that little kid in the movie could have felt and could have created beliefs around money, around success, around whatever, in this case, specifically around money. So some sentences that I offer to my clients as we're doing this work to go really deep into the subconscious mind is, money is. For that little kid at home, when he was 5, when she was 6, when she was 7, when he was 8, no, money is. And in my case, it would come out as money is fighting. Money is problems. Money is painful. And it sounds weird, but that's what that little kid started putting together when he saw a lack of money at home and parents fighting. Others could have made up the, assumption that, you need money not to fight. You need money not to whatever. So the idea is to find the stories that you could have created as a little boy or little girl. Hey, Marianne. Hey, Greg. Money is in short supply. There you go, Greg. Thank you. You see, Greg wrote here, money is in short supply. Whoever, Alexa, Kimberly, Mike, here, if you want to share a little bit what could come up as you start imagining that little kid right there, if you don't mind, in the chat, what could you have felt as a little kid around money? If you heard maybe money doesn't grow on trees, what story could you have created in your mind? That money is hard to get, that you need to work very hard to get money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Thank you, Kimberly. There you go, Kim. Yeah, perfect. So finding the stories that I created as a kid, according to the environment I was in, because remember, whatever I've learned as a kid is what my mind is believing as the truth, and is not being able to move away from there because it has proof, quote unquote, proof back then that that was the truth. So I call it a partial truth. There you go, Mike. Hard to earn, don't want to spend it. So we hold on to money and we might not be able to give ourselves some treats. I don't mean go there and spend it all, but be able to manage it in a more, effective way. Alexa, always remind to be frugal, save for rainy days. Don't be like your mother who spends every time. Look, but here comes from fear. I don't want to spend because I don't want to be like my mom, but I'm not coming from a loving place of maybe giving myself a treat. I don't mean overspending, okay? I'm not saying that, but it's being able to understand the stories that I created in the mind that are now holding me back. So again, from my past, little Tommy experienced, a lot of problems financially. One of the biggest things that I've been working and I'm still working on is that no money means no love. As I was growing up, and my parents did the best they could, I'm not judging people, remember, we're not judging parents, we're understanding how their actions impacted us. So as my parents fought a lot around money, there was stress, there were bad moods. Of course, I get it now, but back then I made up in my mind, no money equals no love. When money goes away, love goes away too. So I experienced a lot of losing love because of the lack of money. Also, many other stories. So whenever my finances were not okay, I felt really crappy. Why? Because there was a big part of me that felt that I was going to lose love. many years ago, I got scammed. And in between that scam, many times I was feeling that my wife was going to walk away. She never walked away. And she even told me, hey, I got your back, right? You did the best you could with information provided. We were scammed. We were both scammed. We both chose to get into this. So she supported me all the way. But there were parts of me that were scared that she was going to walk away. Why? Because again, not because my parents didn't walk away, but in a way they walked away from me. I needed them in certain moments. And I don't mean that they were all the time like this, but in certain moments that I needed them, they were in a bad mood. They were angry, right? They were stressed out. They were not able to show me love all the time because of the crisis they were going through. My parents had to go buy broken biscuits to the factory back then when I was a kid to be able to give us biscuits because they couldn't go to the store, to the supermarket and buy the biscuits because they were too expensive. But if they went directly to the industry, to factory, they were able to buy the broken ones and they were cheaper. And that's how they were able to feed us sometimes cookies or biscuits, right? So they went through very difficult times, my parents. So that also impacted how I saw them around money. They found it difficult to make. So I have to work very hard to make money. And that doesn't need to be necessarily like that, because maybe I'm not working smart, I'm working only hard. It is to work hard, don't get me wrong, but always also work smart. So it's identifying these different stories. So once I identify these different stories, validate them, don't deny them. My parents made me think that money doesn't, my parents used to say money doesn't grow on trees. How did that impact me? Money is difficult to get, maybe. I'm not worthy of getting money. Okay, there we go. We start finding the story. If my parents, in a way, taught me indirectly or directly that money is difficult to get, I can start bringing what I called a better argument, like a compelling argument to change that belief. Like imagine my kid comes to me and says, oh, Dad, money is difficult to get. Okay, why do you think money is difficult to get? Oh, because, I don't know, somebody said this at school, right? And I think that, yeah, it might be true. Okay, let's talk about it. So as I would have a conversation with my kid, I have a conversation with my mind. And I try to create a compelling argument, a higher truth to knock down the other truth. So look at this an example, Tommy, and I've done this and I still do it today, right? There's a part of me that is struggling, or as a kid also struggle, because no money, no love. No money, no love. So, hey, I get you, a part of me, I get you that you feel that no money, no love. It makes total sense because that's what your parents, in a way, could have showed you with their actions. The thing is, hey, buddy, look, your parents were in a bad mood. Your parents were struggling, so they were not capable at that moment to show you love. You deserve that love, but they were not capable of giving it right there and then because of their unresolved issues. So I have a conversation inside of me where I bring the higher truth. So at that moment, when I'm having that conversation with myself and I'm loving and accepting the part of me that doesn't feel loved, I'm showing it that no matter what, there is still love. I'm learning how to be there for you, how to love you no matter what. So when I do that exercise, I'm showing that no matter if there's money or not, there is love. So I start creating a new thing around unconditional love, a new memory where there is unconditional love no matter what, because that's what we needed as kids, as an adults. We need unconditional love, but this society lives in this conditional, mindset where if I do something for you, you need to thank me. You need to look happy. You need to do something for me later on. That is conditional. Oh, I'm going to be loved if I look, I have a six pack, or if I have good boobs, or I have, no wrinkles or whatever. And we fall into this conditional society where we are loved and accepted according to the car we drive, how much money we make, how successful we are, how we look. And that is not unconditional love. So the parts of us that created these negative, limiting, false beliefs around money, what they need is unconditional love and acceptance to then be able to bring a compelling argument, as I was saying, hey, buddy, look, I'm here for you no matter what. So if you're making money or not, I'm learning how to love you and accept you no matter what is going on. So starting again, we bring another possibility to that part of us. And this is so important because unconditional love is what aligning mind and heart, what makes a change. And we're able to now start changing the beliefs around money. Money is short in supply. Why is it short in supply? If it's everywhere, is it really short in supply? So I start bringing a compelling argument to say, okay, we experienced that money was short in supply as kids, right? And we made that belief up. But what if it's not entirely true? What if it's a partial truth? So now we start inviting the mind, that part of us, to start thinking different. But we need to connect with our past. We need to connect with the subconscious mind to find those memories, those events from the past that created those stories, identify those stories, understand those stories, to then bring information, compelling argument to invite the mind, listen to these words, invite the mind to choose to think something different. I hope that makes sense, because that's the most important part of this work. If you're having struggles with relationship, if you're struggling with health, if you're struggling with money, with communication, with whatever, find the partial truth, the limiting beliefs that you have in the back of your head that are holding you back. How do you do that? By going to the past memories and identify what will be the negative stories that you could have created as a kid around different things that are now making you deal with what you're dealing today. So if you can do that, it's going to really help you start making changes. So if you're watching, thank you very much. I see there Kimberly also joined. Kimberly, remember that you can jump on Zoom. In a second, I'm going to send you the link. Kimberly, you're part of the paid community, so you can come into Zoom and do some Q&A that we're going to do right now. So thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying this, share, comment, send me some love. The only thing you can do that is free. The only thing I ask from you, and more people get to see it, more people get to benefit. So again, thank you very much. I hope you have a great week. I hope this helped you. Take care and see you next time. Bye, everyone.